Ethan Carter was no stranger to loss. He had spent the last 2 years mourning the love of his life, Amelia Hayes. She had been everything to him, the woman he had planned to marry, the one who made life feel like poetry instead of routine. Then, just like that, she was gone. A freak car accident. A phone call in the middle of the night. A world that never felt quite right again. He had done his best to move forward, to bury himself in work, to convince himself that grief was just a season that would eventually pass. And yet, every night, he still found himself reaching for the other side of the bed, half expecting her to be there. But nothing, had prepared him for the letter. It arrived on a cold Wednesday morning, sealed in an unmarked white envelope, the paper inside crisp and unfamiliar. The handwriting, however, was unmistakable. Amelia's. Ethan's hands trembled as he unfolded the letter. Ethan, my love, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone. I wish I could have stayed, but some stories aren't meant to have the endings we dream of. But before you forget me, before you move on, there's something you need to know. I wasn't who you thought I was. Go to Hollowbrook Cafe, the place where we had our first date. Look for a woman in the blue scarf. She will tell you everything. Forgive me. Always yours, Amelia. Ethan reread the letter 3 times, his heart slamming against his ribs. This had to be a mistake. Amelia had died 2 years ago. How was she sending him a letter now? And what the hell did she mean? She wasn't who he thought she was. He should have thrown the letter away. He should have ignored it, written it off as some cruel joke. Instead, 2 hours later, he found himself standing outside Hollowbrook Cafe, searching for a woman in a blue scarf. The cafe smelled of roasted coffee beans and warm pastries, just as it had when he and Amelia had sat there on their first date, laughing over terrible cappuccinos. His eyes scanned the room. And then he saw her. A woman in a deep blue scarf, sitting by the window. She was older than Amelia, late 30s, maybe early 40s, with sharp, intelligent eyes and an expression that was neither surprised nor expectant. She had been waiting for him. Ethan approached cautiously. Are you the one who sent this? He placed the letter on the table. The woman glanced at it, then met his eyes. Sit down, Ethan. His pulse jumped. How do you know my name? She sighed, as if she had expected the question but wished she didn't have to answer it. Because Amelia told me about you. Ethan's throat tightened. That's impossible. She leaned forward. There's a lot that's impossible about this, isn't there? He hesitated before sinking into the chair. Who are you? My name is Celia. I was Amelia's best friend. But you never knew I existed. Ethan stiffened. He had known all of Amelia's friends. He had met them, laughed with them, watched them grieve at her funeral. I don't believe you, he said. Celia gave a sad smile. I didn't expect you to. But I need you to listen, Ethan. Amelia had secrets. Things she didn't tell you, not because she didn't love you, but because she was afraid. Afraid of what? Celia exhaled slowly. Of who she really was. As Celia spoke, Ethan felt his world tilt. Amelia had not always been Amelia Hayes. Before she had met Ethan, before she had built the life he knew, she had been someone else entirely. Her real name was Lena Moreau. And she had been running. Running from what? Ethan asked, his voice hoarse. Celia hesitated. Then she slid a newspaper clipping across the table. Ethan's eyes widened. The headline read, Local heiress disappears without a trace, police suspect foul play. And beneath it, a photo of a younger Amelia, Lena, with the same warm brown eyes, the same smile. Ethan's breath caught. What is this? She was the daughter of Charles Moreau, the CEO of Moreau Industries. One of the wealthiest men in the country. But she didn't want that life. She wanted freedom, so she faked her disappearance and became Amelia Hayes. Ethan shook his head. That's not possible. I knew her. She wasn't. She wasn't a billionaire's daughter? Celia's gaze was steady. She wasn't someone who had to hide her past. Then tell me, Ethan, why do you think you never met her family? His stomach twisted. Amelia had always avoided talking about her past. She had told him her parents were estranged, that she had no close relatives. And he had believed her. Because he had loved her. Ethan's mind raced. If she was running, why didn't she tell me? Why send this letter now? Celia hesitated. Because she knew someone would come looking for her. Ethan's blood ran cold. Who? Before Celia could answer, her phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen, then quickly stood. We have to leave. Now. Ethan stared at her. What? Why? She grabbed his wrist, her grip surprisingly strong. Because someone else got that letter too. And they don't want you knowing the truth. Ethan and Celia fled the cafe just as a black SUV pulled up outside. They drove in silence for miles, Ethan's mind racing with questions. Finally, Celia spoke. Amelia wanted to tell you everything before she died. But she was afraid if she did, she'd put you in danger. She didn't fake her disappearance for nothing. She was running from people who would have done anything to bring her back. Ethan swallowed hard. And now? Celia glanced at him. Now, those people know you know the truth. He exhaled shakily. What do I do? Celia smiled faintly. Exactly what Amelia wanted you to do. He looked at her. Which is? Celia handed him a small envelope. Inside was a plane ticket. One way. To a place Amelia had always wanted to go. Paris. She wanted you to move on, Celia whispered. To let her go. To live. Tears burned at the back of Ethan's eyes. For the first time in 2 years, he finally understood. Amelia had never really left him. She had just been waiting for him to say goodbye.